Welcome to the Amanda Hall Psychic Mini Workshop Series here on the Gold Coast on a Wednesday afternoon. I hope you're having an absolutely fabulous time wherever you are in the world of ours, and I'd like to just welcome everybody. It's a really exciting time of the year, I think, here in Australia, as we really are in the thick of winter, and it's been quite cool here on the Gold Coast. And I know a lot of people find that hard to believe, but we have had temperatures down around the 0 of the morning. And we are cold, and we do have our heater going and jumpers on, and, you know, those of you that are venturing outside are putting a coat or two on as well. So I'd like to take the time to welcome everybody here. If you're a regular viewer, we like to welcome you back. And if you're brand new to our workshop series and you've only just tripped across it, an extra special big welcome to you. So this leads me into some T's and C's before we kick the event off and we wait for people to join us live. Each week I promote a workshop based on a theme that's connected to one of my 28 soy candles in my range, and I weave that into a workshop of learning and understanding and teaching. Teaching is something that I'm passionate about. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Amanda Hall. I've been in the psychic industry here in Australia for over 40 years. I've been inducted into the Psychic Hall of Fame here in 2013, and for the 4th year in a row I've won Australian Psychic of the Year voted by the public. So I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everybody that voted for me. It's really a prestigious award to win year after year, and I really do feel quite humble, and thank you all from the bottom of my heart. So to get some T's and C's out of the road, this is a teaching workshop. This is not where I'm going to perform free readings for people. If you want a reading, you can certainly book a private reading with me over the phone or email at my website, www.amandahallpsychic.com.au. And if you type in the word Facebook in capital letters, you will get a discount at the checkout. I do only perform 2 free readings a week, and they are conducted on my previous show out of the Washington district in the USA, which is on A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV at high noon or 12 noon Queensland time on a Wednesday here in Australia. So it's just prior to this mini workshop. I do a half-hour show out of the US. So that is where you can get a free reading if you go to the A1R Psychic Radio page here on Facebook, you'll find all the opportunities there to get a free reading with some of the world's greatest psychics, mediums and healers. And I have a show, as I said, every Wednesday out of there at high noon here in Australia. So what we're going to be covering this week in this workshop is called about protection. Now, it's one of the things that I probably get asked the most as far as psychic work, about energy work. People ask me, Amanda, do I really need to protect myself? And why would I need to protect myself? I don't really do the amount of psychic work that you do. So why would I need to protect myself? So let's sort of be very clear on what protection is. Protection is something that we all need to incorporate into our daily lives, into our daily routine, like getting up of a morning, washing your face, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, and getting dressed for the day and putting fuel into your body. It is something because each and every one of us work with energy, whether we realize it or not. When we go to the market, when we go to the hairdresser, when we drop the kids at school, when we go to work, when we go to church, when we go anywhere, we're actually working with or meeting or talking to other people. So therefore there's a transfer of energy, or we're in their energy and they're in ours. So therefore people aren't always in a clean sort of energy. Some people are very positive and upbeat, and some people are very negative and down, and there's a very dark negative energy. And I'm sure all of you can relate to the next statement I'm about to say. You go and visit a friend and you're really excited, you go, you have a great time, you walk out of there and you think, oh my God, I feel like I've been run over by 3 buses. Or 3 cement rollers. Oh, gee, I don't know what I did, what was different today about going there, but gee, I feel tired all of a sudden. I really could just go and have a sleep. Or I want to go home and have a shower and wash off this gunky sort of feeling that I feel in my energetic field. That is then when we've picked up negative energy, or energy that has not been protected. So if we protect ourselves before we step out into the wide world, or before we even get up and face the day with the rest of the household, it's a really good place to start. Now, if I can share with you something that recently came to my attention from a fellow medium that I really have immense respect for, and any of you that have watched previous workshops will know I'm a huge fan of John Edward, the medium out of the US of A. And something I was watching recently of John's that sort of just stuck into my little memory, and I know I've heard him say this many, many times before, but you know, just sometimes things just sort of seem to be illuminated. and he was talking about psychic protection and psychic self-defense, but he was also talking about it in a language that I think most people could resonate with today, and he calls it his psychic sunscreen. It's like, you know, we've all got to get up and put on our psychic sunscreen for the day. We don't go outside in the sun without putting on sunscreen or protection. So why should we go and start our day without our psychic sunscreen on? And I thought, I really love that terminology. It really is a very now statement. It's something that I think everybody can relate to and understand, and probably makes it seem a little bit easier and more palatable to understand why we need to work with it. So first and foremost, there is many different ways of protecting yourselves. And I hear a lot of people say to me, oh, Amanda, it's all too complicated and you've got to go into a meditation and you've got to have a bath or a shower and you've got to do this and do that. Let's make it very, very simple. Psychic sunscreen or psychic protection or protection of any kind of protecting your energy can be done in a couple of minutes. We don't necessarily need to go through a ritual of bathing, showering, scrubbing yourself from head to foot, sitting under a pyramid or sitting on the floor cross-legged and going into meditation for an hour at a time just to protect ourselves. We can all do this very, very quickly. Now, what I like to do as my little ritual, if you want to look at it that way, as far as protection, it's a two-pronged protection for me. So I always like to work with my protection candle. So this is my protection candle, and this is specifically designed for protection, for you to protect your energy, to protect everything. And I'm not talking about stopping the house burning down or stopping you having a car accident or protecting your children so that a dog doesn't bite them or they don't fall off their bike. We're talking about protection of energy, of people being able to steal your energy or being able to dump their unwanted energy on you. We're not talking about an insurance policy that insures you against, you know, the woes of life. We're talking about an energetic protection here. So I like to start my day by getting out of bed, brushing my teeth and all those sort of usual things. And then the next thing I do is I come out and I light my candle protection, my protection candle, and I know that everything's right for the day. So when I've lit my candle, and with one of these ones, they have 2 wicks in them, I'd light one side one day and one side the next day. That way you will get up to 100 hours burn time out of an extra large candle, where if you light the 2 wicks, you only get approximately 60 hours. So rule of thumb, always put them on a coaster, never leave a candle unattended, burn this between 15 minutes to 2 hours to get your maximum protection happening. You don't need to write anything or put anything on a list. It's just a matter of lighting the candle and staring into it as if in a meditative state. And that's the interesting thing. If you're working with a candle and you've got the flame going, you can have the candle there and you can just lose yourself in the flame of the candle for a minute or two. And what I'd like you to do in that minute or two is to then imagine you're in a place or a favorite piece of scenery or a famous, an important memory or some time where you felt that you were at your ultimate form of protection. For some people, that might be going for a walk in the woods, sitting under a tree, sitting by a stream, going to the beach and just dangling your feet in the water and just looking and listening to the waves coming in and losing yourself there and feeling very, very safe and secure and sort of feeling, I feel so very protected and very cleansed. For someone else, it might be listening to a favourite piece of music or a concert that they went to or gazing into someone's eyes that they love. Whatever it is that works for you, that's the image I want you to put into your mind as you light your candle. So as you light your candle and you've done that and you've meditated or stared into the open flame of the candle for a minute or two, that is your protection. So what you can do then during the day, if you feel that somebody is thieving your energy or you're starting to feel a little bit lackluster in energy, you can take yourself back for that moment's notice in your mind. You could shut your eyes for a couple of seconds and visualize that thought again and you staring into the flame of the candle and immediately top up that psychic energy or top up that psychic sunscreen that you had this morning as you got up for the day. So this is something this is why I like you to do it in a two-pronged effect, because we can then bring it into our lives a little bit more so as we need to do it during the day. And some of the worst places for our energy being thieved is really when we attend shopping centres, because we go there on a mission. We've got a list in hand of the groceries we need to buy, the clothing we need to purchase, or the children's shoes or whatever, and we're usually in a hurry and we get in there and all of a sudden something goes wrong and we've let down our guard. And when we let down our guard, we also let down our protection. And then in comes all this unwanted negative sort of energy from everybody else that's there, that's in a bad mood, had a fight with somebody, scratched their car, lost their car keys, whatever. And we've taken on board all their energy, and we walk out the shop, my God, that was an ordeal. Oh, I'm glad it's over. I don't have to do this for another week. And it's not so much the ordeal of going and doing the chores. It's because we've sucked on board everybody else's energy. So if I can ask you to get into a little habit that I like to do before I go to a shopping centre, before I walk in the doors of the shopping centre after I've parked the car, I briefly stop for about 30 seconds. I close my eyes and I imagine I've put myself in a protective bubble like a balloon, that the energy can only come so far and then it bounces back, and the energy can come so far and it bounces back. It's like Teflon, it just keeps bouncing it back, because I don't want to take on board anybody else's energy. I have enough issues in my life to go around just for me. Like everybody else, we all have day-to-day trials and tribulations and busyness of life and not feeling quite right, or whatever it might be, that we've got enough things going on in our lives that we don't need someone else's. Now, if I feel that I'm out and I'm, visiting a friend or something like that, and I'm aware of the fact that I feel that they're stealing my energy, not consciously, but, they're having a bad time in their life and they might be sharing with me the woes of their marriage or something like that, and I start to feel my energy sag, what I do is I clasp my hands like this. I interlock them, and then I actually just place them just in between the breasts. Now, the reasons why I do that, and I might move my fingers around or something like that. People don't realise then what I'm doing is protecting that heart chakra area of my body, and I'm not allowing their energy to penetrate in here. I'm bouncing it back. So that, I'm giving them back their own energy. I'm not being nasty about it, but I'm allowing them to know that, hang on a minute, it comes here and it bounces back. So, okay, so moving along with other areas of protection that we might need to be doing. So some of you might say to me, look, Amanda, I don't necessarily have, the space at work to be carting in one of those gigantic sort of candles that, I agree with what you're saying, but, hang on a minute, it's a bit too hard. Or I'm going travelling and I want to take my protection with you. You can take a gift box set with you. You can purchase a gift box set from our website with 3 candles. You can make it up with just a protection work box if you want. If you don't just want protection and you want to choose one of 3 different candles from the range of 28, go to the page where you see 3 different choices of candles. There you can make up your own individual box. If you want a box of protection candles, just go to the protection candle page. So these candles will burn for about 15 hours each. Same principles apply. Pop them under a coaster. Never ever leave candles unattended, under an open window, an air conditioning vent, under curtains particularly, anywhere around children, dogs, things like that where they can get knocked over or whatever. It's always a good idea to stay with your candle and don't leave them unattended. Now, for those of you that can't work with a candle or don't wish to work with a candle or want to use your protection in a much more powerful sort of way, something that can go all through the day and can be, have the fragrance going through your home or your workspace, can I suggest that you buy yourself one of these melt warmers? These are wax warmers or melt warmers. You can buy them at the local supermarket. Here in Australia, under $20. They're electric. You plug them in, you turn them on, put a half a teaspoon a day of it in there. I actually have 2 melt warmers in my home. I have one in my office that only purely I put my protection in. I have a protection candle out in my dining room that I light when I first get up in the morning, and then when I walk into the office for the day to start my work, I actually put another half a teaspoon in my melt warmer of my protection soy wax, and I put that on in the office so that I know that I'm covered then for all the phone calls, all the work that I'm going to do, all the shows I'm going to do, private readings, whatever the case may be, even when I'm designing courses, things like that, that I am totally protected. So that's another way of doing it, and this makes it very economical, because an extra large candle, if you imagine, it's quite a bit of wax in those. If you're only taking out half a teaspoon a day, putting that in a melt warmer and protecting yourself, that's going to go an awfully long way. You'll probably get a couple of years out of your candle. So that makes it extremely economical. So it's entirely up to you. I hear a lot of people say to me, what sort of colours should I be looking to work with when I'm working with protection? To be very honest with you, I really poo-hooed protection and psychic sunscreen. Probably the first half of my career, I thought, oh, what a load of rubbish. Why would people sit there and waste time and do that sort of thing? That's just for people that want to waste time, was how I thought about it. And it was only through a little bit of psychic attack work that was done to me, and working with some people that sort of showed me the importance of having to work with psychic energy, that, you know, you just can't sort of walk around blind, and just because you don't understand it or don't believe it, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, that you have to learn to work within the rules. And I suppose for me, because I've been self-taught, and I feel I've been fortunate enough to bring in my wisdom from other lifetimes that I've amassed, and I've never really officially gone and done a course on anything psychic related in my life, other than the course I did with John Edward that I finished this year, which was Project You. And most of what John taught in that course, I could just sit there and go tick, 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 tick. That's exactly how I think. That's how I work. That's how I've always worked. And it was like a confirmation for me from somebody that I really, really admire, that everything that I've stood for and believed in the last 40 odd years of my career, that I was on the right path, and that I didn't necessarily do anything wrong, other than the fact that I didn't work with protection for the first 20 odd years of my career. So when I was taught it by a lady, she sort of said to me, look, there's many different versions of protection. There's many different colours that people use. And she said to me, the most common one is people work with the white light. And I said, yes, I've heard of that. And she said, well, that's all well and fine. She said, because the white light is the white light of purity and all those sort of things. She said, but I'm going to teach you something different. Oh, okay, well, I'm open to that. She said, I'm going to teach you to work with gold. And I said, oh, good, I like gold. She said, it's not a matter of whether you like it, dear. She's, you know, and I got reprimanded to sort of sit there and behave yourself. You're being naughty. You must listen to what I'm saying and take it seriously. But I truly did mean it. Gold is one of my favourite colours. And she said to me, you know, I want to teach you to work with gold. She said, if you don't like gold, then we'll work with silver. She said, and she went through the other different layers of colours and what they meant and how much protection they were. And when she came to white, she said to me, well, this is the one everybody works with. It's the entry level, she said, in my opinion. She said, because it's the white light of purity. And I said, yes, okay. She said, I'm not saying you can't work with it. She said, but I would prefer you to work with gold. I said, okay, fine, that's fair enough. So again, it's a personal thing. I've always worked with gold since then, because that's what she taught me, and because it feels comfortable to me. And I think this is the thing that we all need to take on board. It's not a matter of what's right or wrong, or who taught you what. It's what feels comfortable and what feels right to you. So if working with white feels like the right colour for you to work with, then stay with that. If it doesn't, if you feel more comfortable with gold or silver, then go that way. You might feel more comfortable with aqua or green or yellow. That's a personal choice, and it's not saying one's right and one's wrong. If there's one thing I've taught my students over my last 40 odd years, is always do what feels right to you. If it doesn't feel right, then throw it out the window and go back to what feels right in your heart. It's got to feel right in the pit of your stomach, because otherwise, if it doesn't, you won't do it. You'll avoid it. You'll put an uncomfortable energy into it because it doesn't fit with your belief system. So please go with whatever colour feels right to you. The next thing that she taught me was to either pick a scene like we've talked about earlier in this workshop, or pick something else. She used to say to me, you know, pick a gold triangle. If you can't think of anything else, put yourself in a triangle. You know, she said, sitting under a gold tree, under a gold shower of rain, in a gold swimming pool, in a gold Mercedes-Benz if you want to. She said, a gold fur coat. Doesn't matter. Put yourself under a gold umbrella. She said, as long as it's something that you feel is going to protect you, and you can bring that into your mind in a moment's notice when you need to ramp up your protection. She said, that's what you need to do, or a famous place, or a piece of scenery, or somewhere where you feel the most comfortable, like you're paddling your feet in the ocean at the beach. So it's whatever works for you is what I want to teach you. So I really hope that this has helped you understand a little bit more about protection. Protection is something that we need to work with each and every day. It's not one, you know, we get up once and do it once and it lasts for a lifetime. It's got to be constantly topped up as we go through the day. That way then we can minimize people unconsciously and consciously thieving our energy. We don't want to take on board someone else's rubbish. You know, you don't want your neighbours emptying their garbage tin on your front doorstep, so you've got to clean it up. Well, that's literally what they're doing with their energy, is they're dumping their energy on you and you've got to clean it up. Remember this little saying, it takes 10 times the amount of positive energy to outweigh 1 unit of negative energy. So if you think about it, if you've got to ramp up your energy 10 times to combat 1 piece of negative energy, What an investment of energy, time and resources are you putting in to trying to combat someone else's negativity? Isn't it better to put your psychic sunscreen on first and bounce that energy right back to them so that they've got to clean up their own mess, not you? So for those of you that would like to learn more about what we do here, you can head to my website, amandahallpsychic.com.au. I do write a weekly blog. I upload the weekly show here and the one from A1R Psychic Radio. You'll also find on this post, if you've missed some of the previous episodes and you want to go back and watch them, I have set up a designated page for workshops and shows where you can find every single episode there. That this current series will be uploaded in the next 48 hours. I do not say hello to everybody as we go through the workshop. My time is very limited here and I like to really just focus on you. I will personally reply to you if you've waved hello to me and left your name. If you've got anything that you would like me to hopefully bring into a workshop, I'm open to suggestions. If you just head to my messenger section and leave me a message, I will get back to you. We have lots of workshops planned right the way through till the end of this year and well into next year. So we'll be covering lots of different exciting topics as we go along. And please share it with your friends. I mean, knowledge is to be shared and to shared with everyone. It's not something to be kept. And it is something that, over the coming weeks, we will have some exciting announcements, I hope, as I'm working on a few new things. And for those of you that would like to take advantage of joining our weekly email service, where I do send you out a couple of emails a week, where we talk about what we've done for the week and, what's coming up on the next shows. And, I put the workshops in there and the show from A1R in case you missed it. And sort of, there's usually some little offers or something like that in there, or we've showcased some particular products that we sell over at Amanda Hall Psychic. But the most important thing is I want to share my knowledge with you and each and every one of you. So if you want to join our weekly newsletter service, head to the website, sign up, and you will get the opportunity then to get a free, and I stress this free astrology chart for you. You'll be sent a series of emails explaining to you how you can claim this offer. You're under no obligation to stay with us. You might just want to come and get the free astrology chart and then think this is not for us. We're not going to be offended by that. But I would hope that you would stay and join us because we have some exciting things coming up and we do have, some amazing products. I've been the inventor of a project called Simply Tarot. We're now up to our third tarot series where we've got tarot cards that you can teach yourself. We've got lots of fun happenings and there'll be probably some nice promotional offers coming up as well. But for those of you that want to take advantage and want to make a purchase, in the coming weeks, don't forget, type in the word Facebook when you're at the checkout. You will get a discount. We offer free postage here in Australia, but for our overseas visitors, I'm sorry, we can only offer a flat fee. So if you want to purchase more than one product, then can I suggest that you save up your pennies, do it all in one go, and you'll get the luxury of just that flat fee. You won't need to pay any, postage for each item that you've ordered. It'll be just that flat fee. So until next week, be kind to each other. Make sure that you open a car door, give somebody a smile, say good morning, good afternoon. It may be the only person that's shown them some sort of kindness for the day. And I believe if we show a lot of kindness, we get it back. So have an absolutely awesome week. Oh, I just forgot. Before I go, what are we going to be talking about next week? We're going to be working with, wait for it, the full moon in Capricorn. So if you want to know more about how the full moon in Capricorn is going to affect you, tune in next week. Have a great week. Bye for now.